Welcome to another episode of TikTok Famous, the stories behind the scroll. Today, I have on the podcast Kentee Pasek with her dog, Dexter, dog Ouray. And I'm so excited to talk about the dog that walks on two legs. This is insane. We've been following each other in mutuals for about 4 years now, and I finally have her on a podcast to get all the scoop. So stay with us.
You're listening to the TikTok Famous Podcast, where viral fame meets raw reality. Join your host, Meredith Willits, as she dives deep with your favorite creators to uncover the real stories behind the scroll, the highs, the lows, the algorithm chaos, and everything in between. This is not your average interview. This is the TikTok Famous Podcast.
Kentee, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to meet Dexter sometime during the next hour. I appreciate you being here today.
Thank you so much for having us. This is extremely exciting. And yeah, we've been hanging out for a couple of years online here.
Literally. But the only thing I usually get to see, so if you follow Dexter, dog Ouray, Ouray.
Yeah.
On any of the channels, you're everywhere. You've been on Jimmy Fallon. I'm going to go through the list. It's usually Dexter walking around on two legs, which is funny because ever since I met Dexter, now my dogs have arms and legs.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, they have their little back legs.
I was telling my dad, he was here this weekend, and I was telling him that I was going to get to talk to you because I was so excited. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, I've seen those three-legged dogs before. I'm like, no. This is not a three-legged dog. This is a dog that walks upright following an injury. So what happened to Dexter?
Right. So we actually had him as a four-legged puppy. He was just a typical four-legged puppy. He's a Brittany. Some people know it as Brittany Spaniel, but because of a DNA test, they call it now just Brittany because they're more pointer than they are Spaniel. So he's a Brittany, and we had him as a four-legged little puppy, and he escaped the yard one day. So he's really just our family dog. Escaped the yard. The whole town was looking for him. The police were looking for him. Everyone was looking for him. And all of a sudden I get a call from my husband, and he says, I have Dexter. He's kind of injured, but I need you to bring the car down. And he was down at our hot springs pool. So I'm like, sure, I'll go down, jump in my car, go down there. I look at the dog and I'm like, oh, holy cow, this is not kind of injured. He was really injured.
Yeah.
And my husband flew helicopters for the Coast Guard before. He's EMS. He's a firefighter, volunteer firefighter, and on mountain rescue. So he's one of those guys, right? And so that was his kind of injured, ended up being a huge injury. Yeah. We are in the middle of the mountains in Ouray, Colorado. We had to drive about an hour to our nearest vet, and Dexter lived the whole way. My husband drove. I was in the back with him, and the first vet kind of opened up the car door, when we got to the vet office, and turned just green. And he's like, I'm going to go get Dr. Franklin, who was like the older vet who knew what was going on. And Dr. Franklin came and looked at him, and he's like, yeah, I think I can save him. And he has to live through the night though. So we had probably about 5 minutes to make decisions like, what about a prosthetic? Because it's a different surgery. We had to make decisions on, will he make it? Will he live? We had so much in such a short time that we had to make these instant quick things. And we didn't do a prosthetic because he was a little puppy. He was just turning a year. He was chewing on everything like puppies do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's going to chew on this leg, and then we're going to have to get a bigger one. And I could just see this whole thing happening. So I'm like, a tripod sounds good. So we had to leave Dexter there overnight. Huge decision. Our hearts were like, oh my gosh. So we did that. My kids went to school the next day. And I was like, I'll tell you if we have a puppy the next day. And the vet office called, and they're like, yeah, he made it overnight. We're going to do the surgery. Like, he has a will to survive. And so I let the kids know at school. They still have their little notes of the teacher that gave it to them saying they're the dog made it. And we live in such a small town that everyone in the school was involved. All of the town was involved in this whole decision making. So St. Patrick's Day, we were able to go pick him up. And I just kept thinking, oh, lucky dog. Oh, lucky dog.
Yep.
So we go and get him, and the kids were in the car with me. It ended up being the three of us. I have a son and a daughter. And we went and picked him up and brought him home. And the healing journey started. So we were carrying him down the front porch stairs. Like that was we had to carry him to go to the bathroom every morning.
Yeah.
And
so he had a full amputation.
Huh?
Did he have a full amputation then?
Yes. So he had a full amputation on one side, and then the other side was kind of wrapped up a bit. And he was having trouble kind of putting weight on that arm that was left, and we couldn't figure out why.
Arms and legs. I'm
yes,
telling
arms
you.
and legs. That's right. He has little back legs in his arms. I mean, that's the way. Yeah.
That's where we're at. I love it.
That's our Dexter
Only us.
change. So I made my coffee that morning, and he's not putting weight, and he has a cone of shame on, and I brought him down to the front, and I came back outside, and he was up on the front porch. And I was like, you're not putting weight on that front arm. What did you do? There he is. And he decided to, well, I knew he had done something because he wasn't putting weight on that. So I brought him all the way down off the front porch, took out my video, and I have video of him gently touching the ground, walking upright up the front porch stairs like a human. Yeah. If you go on my Instagram at dexterdogouray and scroll like clear to the bottom, you will find the front porch stair walk. It was insane. It was amazing.
And that was the first time that you saw that.
That was the first time. And okay, so everyone asked what my reaction was. We had just spent all this time, all this money on this dog, and he's walking upright up, like on balance upstairs. Like I was like, no. So I had filmed it to make sure everyone in the house could see it. And that's what he did. So, and it just progressed from there. So it didn't go from like a dog to like running and walking upright. We have video of him kind of balancing and learning to balance. We have found that a plastic walking collar helps him learn to balance right. People ask about a harness, and it pulls like really weird at the back. If you think about it, the walking collar allows him to feel where he is upright. Mm-hmm. So he has a little plastic walking collar. We walk around with him, and anymore now he can outrun us. Like he is fast on two legs. He can outrun us, outdo everything. He just goes. He's a goer.
So I love talking about the idea of like, I just had someone on my other podcast, and we were talking about like how doctors are like, do yes, no, whatever. Where the doctors or vets like, oh, don't let him go on two legs. Like you have to really focus and put him on the three legs, or use like one of those wheelchair harnesses. Were they trying to tell you don't do the two legs? You're the hips, the joints, the backbone, all this stuff. And you're like, what do you want me to do? Push him down? Like what happened there?
So what was going on behind the scenes is that his elbow ended up being worse than we thought. And the vet was trying to get this, I'm going to do this motion because that would create a tripod, right?
So basically doing three legs like walking on three legs.
Right. Just like a typical try.
Yep.
So we ended up having to fuse or put pins in this arm. So we did the first set of pins because he was a puppy. Dexter style, he went too hard because he was like, oh, this is great, and broke the pins. So then we had to do another surgery to put in bigger pins and fuse it together, which worked until one of the little puppy pins came out. Like it was just this whole thing. He was in a cone of shame for a year.
Oh
so the vet was really trying to get a full range of motion on the dog as the dog's figuring out how to walk upright. So he's like, oh, this isn't ideal, but it's just the way he's moving right now. So then, yes, we did buy a wheelchair. I have pictures of him in a wheelie. He has had a little wheelchair, and he ran around with his wheelchair, which was great because it started strengthening the front. Everyone's worried about his hind legs. The front has been our biggest problem. So it was strengthening the front. It doesn't have as much muscle tone because it was injured as well. And the wheelchair started working, and I'm like, great, we have the solution.
Yeah.
Until one day I'm in the house and I hear noise. I'm in my office. I go over to the dining room, and he's upright with the wheelchair still attached, banging onto furniture. I don't have a video of that one, right? Like he's like bang, 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 and he's walking upright, and these wheels are sticking out. They're big wheels. Yeah. So I call the vet immediately.
So not only did he have to pick up his body to stand on two legs, he had to pick up a whole damn wheelchair.
Right. And they're like big, like almost bicycle-sized tires, right?
Oh,
so I call Dr. Franklin on his cell because that's where we were talking back and forth.
That's where we're at now, right? We're mano a mano with the doctor.
We're buddies. Yeah, the vet. We're buddies because we're talking all the time and checking on Dexter, and it was a whole Dexter world. So I'm like, Houston, we have a problem. Yeah, we have a problem because he looks more dangerous. And he's like, we have done everything for this dog. We've done everything for this dog. So it appears that he really likes to walk upright. This is his mode of transportation, right? We've fixed this leg. It's all completely fused. He has this motion, but he prefers to walk upright. And he's just like, we let this dog live his best life and walk upright. We're going to monitor him. We're going to check on his hips every 6 months. He has a little chiropractor we go to. We'll have a little chiropractic session for him today.
Of course.
So like he has I massage it. I work like the whole way through. I've been moving the muscles and working the muscles. I have a background. I have a recreation administration and fine arts degree. I have a background where I've been a certified personal trainer. So I've taken a lot of that information and moved it over to him.
Yeah.
My grandfather in World War II was really injured to the point they didn't think he'd stand up. And he moved his muscles themselves so they wouldn't atrophy way before that was popular. And that's all I could think of as I was like massaging blood into that and massaging him and working on just all I wanted was really good motor skills of this arm, right? I'm the most concerned about this arm. And so all the way through the healing, I was doing exercises with him. I was working with him. We were in a whole thing, and Dr. Franklin knew everything. I had his approval all the way through. We worked this out together, and he just finally said, this dog wants to walk upright. Let's just monitor him. We don't know how long he'll do this. Let's just let him have his best life.
I'm just sitting here going, and that is your great-grandfather reincarnated.
It is. I know. He's just like, here we go, guys. I mean,
and here we go. Yeah. I'm going to walk and walk. I swear. So I found you. I was laying in bed as we TikTok scroll, right? The doom scrolling before bed, because that's what the healthy thing is. And I came upon your video, and Dexter. I mean, just even talking about it. Dexter was in a parade, walking down, and you had this like very inspirational music in the background, and I remember I became overwhelmed because when this darn dog, as my mother would say, when this darn dog is walking down the street in this parade, first of all, he has a smile on his face ear to ear. Let's just start with that. Right. You're muted for some reason. Stand by. Okay. Now I heard you.
Okay.
I can hear you. He has a smile from ear to ear. And then let's top that off with this darn music that you've so brilliantly chosen. And then everybody on the sides of the street is beaming, watching this crazy ass dog walk down on two legs. And one of your quotes in your media, because you have a book out, one of the quotes is the book is Dexter, the Stand-Up Dog, which is brilliant, by the way. And it's a children's book that's beautifully illustrated. But one of your Instagram followers wrote, I was injured in combat. A friend kept sending me videos of Dexter. If he can do this, so can I. Yeah. And if that doesn't sum up Dexter and what he brings to the people that may not know even his story. It doesn't matter. You don't need to know his story. You literally can just watch this dog and you know something has happened. You might not even know how or why or what, but when you watch this dog with a smile on his face, ear to ear, walking on two legs down the darn street, sometimes wearing a hat.
Mm-hmm. He likes his hat.
Sometimes wearing a hat. Yep. It changes you.
It does.
It changes you. And I cried in bed that night, and I was just like, instant follow. I did. I cried in bed. I was at my lake house, and I was just like, overcome. There's just something about this damn dog. It's crazy.
There is. I remember a moment. He had walked upright. He still had a cone of shame. It was in the middle of the summer, and he was laying in the lawn. And I took a picture of him because he's on the lawn, cone of shame, eyes closed. And I thought at that moment, oh my gosh, what did we do? Like, it was the owners, right? That owner, like, oh, what did we do? And he saw me. He did his Dexter smile. He stands upright and is like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, I'm the one having trouble with this, not you, not this dog. And so you're right. The inspiration of him, just the resilience, his one step at a time, and he keeps going, and it doesn't matter. And it looks different, and he acts different, and does it matter? He is so happy. He loves those crowds. He thinks, he acts like he almost is like, welcome to my parade. Thank you for coming. Like, literally. That is his attitude. And he's grinning ear to ear. We're getting ready on the 4th of July to do another one here in town. So we have these little town parades every 4th of July, and he just loves them.
Isn't that so amazing? And he's such a good dog, because I know we were talking before the show today. You're traveling with him all over for appearances. Just to name a few: Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. You're in countless parades. Good Morning America. You've been featured in Newsweek, CBS Sunday Morning, Board Panel, Panda, People.com. And this dog is literally an influencer on Amazon, TikTok, and Instagram. I mean, he's an influencer, literally. Like, he is a famous dog who travels a certain sort of way, because he is instantly recognized by your over 1.6 million followers at this point.
Yeah. And we just keep going. We keep traveling. He loves the meet and greets. He loves the shows. I have to pull him back. There are times where I'm like, okay, you've either walked enough, you've done enough. So, like, I try to keep it like 15 to 30 minutes out there walking on his hind legs. When we go out in public, there's some meet and greets that I'm like, okay, it's only going to be this length of time, because his well-being is my number one, because he'll keep going. He's just, he loves this stuff. But he just eats this up. He is truly a showman. I've said that before about him. Like, how can a dog be a showman? But he gets on camera and he's like, hello. He'll be walking down Main Street just like, and someone's like, Dexter. And he's like, hello. Like, he turns on this persona. It's the funniest.
Did you ever hear that thing? It was a story of this, I forget who it was, and they were with Marilyn Monroe, and she was just, in New York or wherever, like, kind of just being herself, right? And I think she looked at the person and was like, do you want to see me become Marilyn Monroe? And she became Marilyn Monroe, and then everyone recognized her, and nothing had changed in her appearance. And if you watch Dexter's videos, like, just in your house, right? He's just getting a treat.
Yeah.
He's just coming in to get a treat, because, like, that's his MO. Just PS, if you go to your page,
right,
that little stink pot is going from one room, parlaying into another room, waddle, give me a treat, right?
Absolutely.
There is a huge difference between Marilyn Monroe in the house getting a treat and Marilyn Monroe, aka Dexter, in the parade route. Those are two different dogs.
Right. It's our everyday dog, which is funky because you have an everyday dog walking around. Yeah. But when he isn't on his show business, he is on it. Like, he clicks on and struts his stuff. Yeah.
It's crazy. So because you have to think about, like, his legs aren't meant to do that, except for maybe, like, laying down. Like, wait, so to be a biped, his legs have to completely change everything. And then there's a tail to contend with. Does the tail go out? I'm trying to think. Or does the tail go down when he walks upright?
Brittany's, and I was really sad about this when I got a Brittany, they crop the tail when they're puppies. So the balance is, and his looks like a little bit longer because I like that little feather on it. But he has a cropped tail. And I have found that there are other Brittany's that do walk upright with 4 legs. Like, but they'll walk down a hall. It's rare, but I will get every so often, oh yeah, our Brittany does this. So I don't know. my assumption, and I haven't really done this with vets or anything, my assumption is I think they're probably double jointed. When I start like looking at the way he's walking, there's some part of being double jointed, but also every single time the vet shows off Dexter, that he shows the muscles of his hips. So his hips are a little wider than what most dogs are because the muscles have been toned to be able to do that.
Yeah.
The chiropractor has said because he's gone from this and goes straight up, he doesn't have as many problems as dogs that will go get a Frisbee and twist.
Oh, okay.
So because he's just using the spine from here to here, he doesn't really get his joints out as much as if you would have a dog like spinning trying to get a Frisbee.
Wow.
Like, because they jump up in the air and twist weird. So
that
twisting motion isn't natural, but and Dexter's 10 now. So let's call it out. He's a 10-year-old dog and he's still going a million miles an hour.
So when did you realize this needs to be, or who, or how, or what was the timing when you went normal dog that walks on 3 legs to I'm going to put this dog out there somehow? Like, when did we put the Dexter out in the public? How did that transpire?
Okay. So my 22-year-old daughter at the time was in middle school, and YouTube and Instagram, when we first got the dog. So we're back into the very beginning of Dexter's life. Okay. YouTube and Instagram are like the thing. There's no TikTok, right? We're back into the world. And so she decided that she was going to start posting about Dexter. So I monitored it. I was like, sure, get an Instagram account. So we had this little puppy Instagram account of Dexter, and I'm really lucky because she took my camera all the time and started taking videos and photos of this little tiny dog, which is the only reason I have video and photos of a 4-legged little puppy that first year, because she was enamored, and she and her friends would go around and they would post 1 or 2 little things. Like, it wasn't a big deal. I monitored it to make sure it was safe and all of that stuff. And then Dexter was injured, and people in town said, I don't want to keep asking you or calling you. I just want to know what happens.
It was like your own carrying bridge.
Right. And
like so the carrying bridge, right? Like, you just like let everyone know what's going on.
Right.
So
I was like, we have this little account. Let's do it. And so then we started getting Brittany followers. And I mean, I thought 2,000 followers on Instagram was a lot, because back then it was for us.
That is a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And, so we go on. So Dexter never really had a tripod 3-leg walk with the way this injury happened. He really went from 4 legs to 2. Like, it's just because that elbow never really healed quickly enough for him to get it. He just went from one adaptation to another. But in this, I'm working, I have a job, our family's busy, young family with kids. My husband's working, like, it's the whole thing. And Dexter just kind of did his thing. He's our family dog. We knew he was funky. I would sometimes post like funny little dog videos of him walking upright. I created a little YouTube channel and his little Instagram channel because I thought it was cute. But I'm spending, 40, 60, 80 hours working, depending on the week. So I'm not posting. That just was not on my radar. It was really to tell our community what had happened to him.
Yeah, where you're at, what's happening.
Right. COVID hits. I'm one of those managers. I worked at our Hot Springs pool managing this huge, multi-million-dollar facility with hundreds of people under me. COVID hits. I lost everything.
Wow.
So I went from being furloughed to laid off. I was expensive to have down there. We didn't know where the world was going to go. So from March of that 2020, that March I got furloughed. By May, I was laid off. June, or the end of May. So 12 days later, my mom takes Dexter out on a walk, and a tourist captures him. And she's a teacher. She was teaching the kids TikTok of her high school students, and she just posted it kind of for them, right? And that Mallory, her TikTok exploded. Jimmy Fallon saw Dexter for the first time, Barstool Sports, and then my Instagram went crazy. So I'm in La La Land, all sad that I lost my job. Nothing, I don't have anything in life. Poor me. Like, we were all there in COVID, right? So it goes from that to like Dexter getting like exploded, and people are texting me. Local people are calling me. Like, everyone's like, Dexter's on TikTok. So I created an account to just be very consistent, because the people ask, like, is that a kid dressed up in a costume, or is he a goat? Like, what is he? And so no one really knew what he was. So I was answering all of these questions, and I was trying to like tell everybody Dexter's story. And then I just started posting about Dexter, and he just started ramping up. Like, so that was the beginning, was a tourist capturing him and it exploding and going viral. And then Dexter's journey started.
What do people say, because you're there with him all the time,
right?
When they meet him, when they see him, like, what is the takeaway, like, from people?
Everyone, right. So people that have seen him online think that he's small. He's 4 feet 2 inches. He's taller than most kids.
Wow.
Like, he's tall. So he's a force to be reckoned with. So they're shocked that he's tall. They're shocked how soft his fur is. Brittany's are extremely soft coated. His personality is identical. So a lot of times they're like, oh yeah, that's Dexter. Like, he's recognizable with his personality for sure.
Yeah.
And so you have people that have seen him so much online that are like, oh, that's awesome. Then you have people who have never seen him, and they are like, what's going on? Like, it messes with their brain. Yeah. Like, people who don't know about him are like,
what's happening? What's happening?
What is this?
Yeah. Jimmy Fallon said, dogs are evolving. I'm telling you, this is just the beginning. What do you think about that?
I love that. I just started laughing when he said that, because Dexter is just the beginning. Like, it's metaphorically as well as like realistically. Whoever thought a dog could walk upright? Like, let's think about that. And so then we start going, and how well are we adapting? I mean, let me tell you the mind games I have played in my own head. And then, why don't we take the first step of whatever you want? And TikTok has changed our lives.
Yeah.
Like, truly.
It's opened up. I would have never met you. You would have never met me. Like,
right.
Jimmy Fallon would have never met Dexter, which would have never let that Vietnam vet or, that, vet see Dexter and decide to get up and keep trying. Like, that's one thing. A lot of people can say what they want about social media, and always, too much of anything is a bad thing. But I believe that we are being exposed to experiences and lives and all of these things, good, bad, and ugly, to educate us to a whole new degree of what's out there, what are possibilities, what is weird becomes normalized in very positive ways. And I think it's life-changing. We're being exposed to things and people. I mean, you and I would have never met, years ago. So yeah, I think it's fascinating.
It is so life-changing. And even when you like start working on your own self, like Dexter has so many levels, right? Because he's like, how can you be a better person is what he tells us. Or how can you go do what you really want to go do? Or is that really
what's normal? What is normal?
What's normal? And does it matter? Like, how many kids have been in schools wishing someone just saw them? And here's Dexter, and he's so different. Like, he's not going to be one of the popular kids. I'm sorry. That's going to be like a fun Doug the Pug. He's going to be the popular kid. Dexter's going to be the wackadoo one, being like, life is good, guys. Like, it's so funny.
Oh, I love that. I love that messaging. I never even thought, like, when I was looking at Dexter, I look at him like, go do your walk today. Like, go walk because you can, right? But what I just heard you there is different is not only good and okay, but celebrated.
Yes. Yeah. It's exceptional, right?
It's exceptional.
And I think sometimes we want to be putting everything in a box that unusual gets like such a bad rap. And yet you're like, what talents do you have that are so different than everyone else's that you've learned to suppress them instead of celebrate them? And I'm going to take it one step further. So I'm a redhead. I'm a strawberry blonde. And it's funny because Dexter kind of is too.
He totally is.
He is. My sister is. My daughter is. We all have this strawberry blonde hair. And to be celebrated now on TikTok. And I flew to New York because my daughter was living in New York. I flew to New York, and I flew in as a TikTok redhead world is going down.
Right.
And I've been in New York multiple times, a couple times a year. I was treated so differently. Like I was.
Yeah, and if you don't know what we're talking about, there was a video that was done recently on TikTok that went viral, which was basically, if you have red hair, you are black. You have black DNA in there somewhere, or you would not have red hair. That's the only way you can have red hair, is by way of being of African American or African descent, right?
Or there's a mutation in the redhead gene that puts us into the 1% profile. So not necessarily that we actually have African American blood or African blood or black blood, but that both profiles, to become one and to become the other, have this really and redheads have such a rare gene. So we have been embraced by the Black community to say it's okay. So a lot of times we've always been like, oh, redheads, like there's all of these redhead memes that everyone can think about. And to all of a sudden be embraced because of your hair color and not be like, oh, they have red hair, the redhead stepchild. There's all of these things that it's really been an amazing morphing time on TikTok at the moment, on social media, to be accepted and
I think that'll go. I mean, like, I kind of have that feeling like once it goes and is embraced, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, right? Like,
no.
I remember back in the 90s, it was like that waif heroin chic, thin. And then it was like J-Lo came out, and then Beyonce came out, and they have curves. And it was like, wait a minute, like,
it's okay.
When did a big butt become cool? And now it's like BBLs and curvy and this, that, and the other. And so I think, and then, people are getting glasses that don't have a prescription when you would have never done that back in the 80s and 90s, No. I think that as humans, vitiligo with the white spots on the skin.
Oh, right.
I was at, Victoria's Secrets, and that big, huge, I mean, it's like a 15-foot television behind the counters, is a model with the vitiligo spots on her, and just embracing. I think as we are moving forward as a society, and people can say what they want about woke, but that is the awakening of we don't all have to look alike. And it's to be embraced, because if everyone looked like everyone else, this world would be a very boring place. Without Dexter, without these differences, there's no parade.
There is no parade.
There's no parade.
We become the Star Wars clones.
Yeah.
So at what point do we just embrace the raw, the human, the real, the devastating stories to become this absolutely beautiful inspiration stories? That's what Dexter is. Yeah. That's what Dexter is. He's the out-of-box thinking.
He's the out-of-box thinking. He's the possibility.
He's the possibility. And he's the possibility for us as humans, because we want to rationalize and compartmentalize and so much.
Dexter's fix.
Like, why?
Yeah. And fix. We got to fix him. We got to change it. We got to fix him. Or he's not worthy. Put him down. Right?
Right.
I'm sure when
what does that say about us?
Yeah. I'm sure when you were looking at him and he had the cone and he's in the grass and you were like, what have I done? Yeah. There had to be part of your brain that was like, what have I done? I should have just let well enough be well enough and just allowed him to pass because now he's going to have this.
And he's in pain. How much pain is he in? Is he okay? Yeah. I always want us to all live our best lives. That's been something I've said to my kids over and over, go live your best life. And I want that for my animals too, is As weird as that is, like, I think that that's part of it. Like, how do we live our best lives?
By one's own definition. Like Dexter was
Yeah.
like, screw you, I'm going to define my own best life.
Right.
You're not going to put pins in it and put a wheelchair on it. And I'm going to keep standing up. I'm going to keep rising up. I don't care how many times you do this. I'm going to rise up and stand up, and you're not going to define me, and you're not going to tell me how to live my best life, which I think that as parents, I mean, we're both moms.
Mm-hmm.
So often that's easy to do, like, is to look at your kid and go, okay, you have to go to high school, then you have to go to college, then you have to get the house, and then you have to get the kids, and then you have to, that might not be that person's best life. And it's not for us to necessarily define, which is so hard and uncomfortable at times because we think we know what best life looks like or feels like or will be defined by. But, and as Dexter said, I'm not going to have you define or fix or adjust me. I'm going to do me. I mean, that's where we're at.
And with my teens, I've been calling it the like sit in the grass moments. When like there's a time when what you do affects them, affects people around you. But there's a time that you just have to let Dexter go be Dexter, because the next moment he stood and walked upright. So it's like, at what point do I say something with my kids? Or at what point am I just needing to sit in the grass and I might have to deal with it? Right. And yet Dexter's like, I'm going to show you. And I think our kids, I think they will too. And I think ourselves, right? If we allow ourselves to sit in the grass and be like, yeah, this might be a scary moment, but if I don't take the chance, what am I doing? Am I really living? And I see that in your TikToks too. Like, you are really inspiring to go live as an older female in society that sometimes can get pushed down. Like, there were times that you're like, no, go, here's something to work on, or here's a little product that can help you, or like, you do that too. It's amazing how many times I'd be sitting there and I'm like, I don't know, or I'd be on flipping through and being like, oh my gosh, Meredith has us down. Whatever it was, whatever you're working through, whatever you're doing, it's also been that. And I think you inspire a huge different age group that, like, I felt so uplifted and so inspired from you.
Thank you. I think that right now, so many of us are trying to figure, or at least I am. I feel like I'm trying to find my north again. Yeah. You know, I think that, like, we go through things and then we're like, okay, what's my north again? Where do I want to find myself or plant myself? I think my biggest thing, which I love what you're doing, but even then, even as soon as I say that, like, you found your north, but like, your north is all over the place too. Like, you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then it's like, no, I'm actually going to write a book too. And then it's like, okay, like the redefinition of yourself on a daily basis. Like, you're not a one trick pony any more than I am. Like, I just can't, I don't have like a north. My north is like a spectrum of stuff. And like, you could have just sat in TikTok and Instagram and being an influencer for, you know, all these dog brands, but you decided to write a children's book. Like, let's take this one step further. And when did that happen? What did that look like? When were you sitting in the bathtub and went, you know what, let's write a kid's book about this?
So right after he started getting really hugely popular, I started doing lives. I wanted to see what people wanted from him. Like, what do you want? What do you want to see? And over and over and over in the lives over, so it would have been that summer during COVID that hit really hard, that we weren't doing hardly anything into the fall. A book kept coming through my followers and friends. You know, they become friends, like you and I.
Yeah, right.
And I was really, it was in the background. And so I'm like, how do we get an agent? How do we get a publisher? How do we do this? I wanted it. Everything I do, I want to be done in the best way I can. So I knew I have an art background, but I knew I wasn't really that. I really wanted to work with and make this the highest quality I could. And so it took a while to do this. So this has been in the background since 2020, kind of in the works. Yeah, but it's now taken a lot. like everything, it takes a little more time than I wanted, right? You want this instant gratification. I want McDonald's style instant gratification, and life isn't that way. So it's just been a labor of love, work in progress. I remember in February when I opened up our first books. So we have these little copies.
That's what he looks like.
Walking upright. It's so super cute. And I was in tears. I was just in tears. There's my little family. They're all bitty with him, right? Like the story, us driving him to the vet. It's just absolutely
beautiful illustration. So clear.
Oh, it's beautiful. And then
the cone of shame.
Oh.
Ugh.
Okay. Him walking upright.
Wow.
One Dexter step at a time. Like, so the storyline is beautiful. I wanted a story with a story. I wanted it as a children's book where we can give it to kids, but that it can also inspire us as adults. So I had this whole vision, and I'm so excited. So this is on pre-order right now. It is coming out September 15th, 16th, right in through there. But you can pre-order it now. And like everything on TikTok, I'm warning everybody, if you really want one, go and get your pre-order in, because things will go out. If you want it for a Christmas gift, like think ahead, because TikTok can do amazing things, but I want people that really want one to be able to get one.
Yeah, especially because September is so close to the holidays, and what a great stocking stuffer under the tree Christmas moment. I mean, I'll tell you what, like just that quote by the vet about like the vet from the war, you know, that got injured, and like I can do it if Dexter can do it. And that to me, that just summarizes the ability of like, hey, you know, the beauty of no one can tell Dexter you can't.
Right.
That's the thing. There's no like social media going, dogs don't walk on two legs. His mom, you could tell him you don't walk on two legs, but he's like, I can't. You're not a part of my reality. I can't hear you. You know, like that's what's so interesting when you think about Dexter is there's no messaging to a dog that says you can't. It's just, I'm going to do this because it makes sense. Think how much messaging we tell ourselves like, well, I can't do that. I'm a 52-year-old woman. I can't have a podcast. I'm a 52-year-old woman. I can't do XYZ. And it's like, dude, be Dexter. Don't listen. Don't look. Don't do anything. Just do you. Don't listen to the naysayers.
Right. It's amazing, right? You think of life in a different way. If you didn't have that negative connotation going through your brain, the negative ones on the outside, the negative comments, like we would be amazing. Like our brains are amazing.
Amazing. And I talk to clients about, I'm a life coach too. I always talk to like, we are programmed.
Yeah.
Dexter is not programmed. We are programmed to like, this is good. This is fun. This is a positive life. This is wealth. This is, you know, how you get to be happy. Like I was talking about the kids, and it's just like, that doesn't mean that that's going to be your happiness or your wealth or your life path. Like everyone's life path can and should look different according to that sitting in the grass moment, right? Like when you decide what direction you're going to take for your life. I love that so much.
But also remember what you decide at one sitting in the grass moment at one season can look totally different in another season. So your grass moments can change as well. Yeah. Your goal setting can change as well. Your ideals can change as well. So I heard this the other day of be fluid like water. Yep. And so allow yourself both the sitting in the grass moments, but allow your brain to also be the fluidity of, we don't have to just do TikTok. You can do podcasts like you're doing. You can do books. Like keep going, keep evolving, keep moving.
Yeah. And we're told if we do that, we're a flake. Oh, you're flaky. You're always into everything. It's like, this is my life. Like, why wouldn't I be into everything? Like, I might get off this podcast today and go climb a mountain. Like, who the hell knows? That doesn't make me a flake. It just makes me want to experience all of life. But so many people that are programmed to believe like you should and shouldn't and need to and have to and all those things put us inside of a box. And it's like, don't be in the box.
But also remember on that side, people are sitting behind a computer or a phone and they're safe. Are they actually doing it? Like,
Right.
I tell my kids that all the time, and the inspiration all the time is like, that's great that someone posted that, or that's great someone commented that, but if it's not your reality, delete it. Like,
Yep.
delete it out of your head, delete it off the post. Like, it's someone's reality of, I don't know, it's gotten so strange. I think the
Yeah.
negativity on that, that for the mental health in being an influencer, delete it.
Delete it. Yeah, if it
Delete it.
doesn't
And
pertain to
as I
your
guess Mel Robbins says, let them
let
be
them.
that, but delete it. Let them be that, but you don't have to.
You don't have to.
And Dexter shows us to say, let them.
Let them judge me walking down the parade and being on TV and all these things. What is the next step for Dexter? I know you're in all sorts of being talked to on TV and interviews and all that. What's your next step? I know you're basically on a book tour right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, so my tour actually begins, it will begin in September. So we'll be, you got to keep an eye out because we're going to be all over the place. So the tour will begin kind of really going about and being a part of the Dexter book, which is part of his story. That is just so exciting. We are really excited about that. We do have a small line of all of his swag and stuff that I bring to events. Again, I'm going to start bringing that into being able to order that online. Right now, you can just get it at our little store here in Ouray that we have.
Okay.
But again, meet and greets are huge. We have just his whole lineup set up for people to meet him. And
does he have like a stroller to rest in? Like when you say you let him walk or do his meet and greet for 15 minutes, what is that down? How do you make a dog stop having fun?
So that was interesting. No, we don't have a stroller because he would have hopped out of it. We have a little Jimmy Fallon clip that he's riding in the wagon, but really that doesn't last. Like, reality is that doesn't last long. So what I have done is to travel with him, and this is a great hack for dogs. I've not really ever shared this, so this is brand new for you, Meredith.
Yay.
We have a travel kennel. So our vet has been adamant that dogs need to be kennel trained, but they in cars need to ride in a kennel because he's seen accidents happen that the dogs that are in the kennels make it. So, and Dexter should not be, he'll get more injured if he's moving around and not like sedentary in a kennel. So I have a kennel that just fits him. And then I have purchased a, like a little dolly. It's a fold up dolly to travel. And I'll put that underneath the kennel and I was going to say zip tie. No, bungee cord it down. We're not going to zip tie it down, but bungee cord it down. So I put him in that, bungee cord it, cover him up, and then we can wheel him almost anywhere.
To keep him like relaxed and safe and calm and
right. And
not
as
walking.
I cover it, he like can chill and not worry about the birds. He loves birds. We have a bird rating, by the way, on all the different places we've gone. So New York Central Park was really high on the list. Like that was number one until we hit Fort Wayne, Indiana. And the birds there were so much better. His favorite bird spot so far was we did a show at Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Well, you got to go to Michigan because Michigan has amazing, like I've never seen Orioles before. Oh. And they're black and bright orange. It's the most beautiful bird I have ever seen in my entire life. Like the only place I've ever seen him is in Michigan. And if I remember correctly, they eat, you put like a jelly jar, like I think grape jelly. And it's got like this, you probably can get it at Menards, and you just like screw on this like flower looking thing onto the jelly jar, and they travel in pairs. And you've never seen an orange like an Oriole. Look it up when we get off here on breathtaking. So Michigan is some great bird watching.
I can tell you don't have bears if you can put jelly jars out.
Oh, no bears in southern Michigan. Yeah, no.
Yeah, we've got bears.
Can't have jelly jars so much.
We can't have bird feeders or jelly jars or.
Oh my gosh.
Dexter goes crazy when the bears are out. We do know when the bears are out. He'll tell us.
I can't even imagine. So follow Dexter Dog Ouray. Did I say it right?
Ouray.
Ouray.
You're close. You're close. Ouray.
And that's Ouray. All of this will be in the show notes. And it's also dexterdogouray.com for all things Dexter. Do you have anything that's coming up? Let's see. This will probably air in August. Anything in? Well, you have your book coming out in September, so that'll be right there, which is great. That'll align perfectly.
Mm-hmm. We'll be posting online all of our fall meet and greets where you can see them. We do local meet and greets, so once a month we're here in Ouray doing local meet and greets. So I have a whole schedule, and it will be out on the website.
I love that so much. It's such an honor to meet you. I'm so glad that your wildfires did not set off your fire alarm today.
Fire alarm.
She gave me like a whole preamble of, okay, we have wildfires going on, and the whole fire alarm could go off, which then's going to make Dexter lose his mind.
Yes.
So yeah,
he starts howling. It's the funniest thing. So yeah, we're glad it didn't go off. So
yeah, we got lucky here. Is he back there?
He is. Do you want me to go get him before we? Okay.
I do. I'm like, I've never like this. I get to see Dexter. Like, you have to understand, this dog has like almost 2 million followers, and he's so cool. I'm so excited. I'm fangirling over this darn dog because he's so cool. You have to check him out on Instagram or TikTok. Just put in Dexter Dog and he'll come up. Oh, hi, Dexter. Oh my gosh. You are such a buddy. And he's got the Apple tag on him so he doesn't get.
Yes, he does. We learned the hard way. Even with his 2.5 legs, he has an Apple Air tag.
That is freaking hysterical. Look at how sweet he is. Oh my gosh. So I noticed too in one of your videos. Hi, Dexter. I noticed in one of your videos, he wants to go lay down and then you give him a treat once he's laid down versus giving him a treat and then he walks over and lays down.
Right. Yeah, he has to go to his rug to get the treat.
Okay.
We have it all planned, but when he's online, he just gets treats and he knows it.
Oh, so he's like, I'm on TV, so.
And he's like, I'm on TV, so I get my treats.
He's so awesome. I can't believe I get to meet him like in person.
Yes, you will.
He's so great. Well, if you're ever in the Chicagoland area, come and let me know. Like I will schlep in wherever you're at. Just let me know. Like Chicago, Indiana, any of these like surrounding areas, I will make the trek to go meet him.
We will definitely do that. That'd be so fun. Absolutely. And if you're ever in Colorado, let us know near Ouray.
I love that. Well, thank you so much, Dexter and Kentee, for being on today. I so appreciate you sharing Dexter and your story and his story. And thank you so much for seeing past the handicap and allowing him to define his future and his life and his experience, which has changed everyone's life around you. So, I mean, that says it all to me.
Well, Meredith, thank you so much. It's such a privilege to be on TikTok Famous and to finally meet you. And I just love everything that you're doing and all the work you do. And I really love your message and just you keep me going. So thank you.
You're the best. Love you, Kentee.
Love you too. Thank you so much.
See you guys here next week. Thanks so much.
Thanks for tuning in to the TikTok Famous podcast with Meredith Willett. If you're loving the unfiltered stories and behind-the-scenes truths, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share the show. Until next time, let's get famous.